Hi, in this unit, Parallel and Comparable Corpora, we will introduce the notion of multilingual corpora and see how the quick development of parallel corpora has been a revolution in the field of computer-aided translation since the early 90s. We will then talk about techniques for bitextual aligning and mention interesting sources to build and explore parallel corpora. We will finally introduce the use of comparable corpora as a means to cope with some limitations of parallel corpora. Pierre Isabelle, one of the pioneers in the field of the computer-assisted translation, noted in 1992 that, in Canada alone, year in and year out, the volume of translations reaches at least 500 million words. Let's face it, the mass of translations produced each year contains more solutions to more problems than all the existing and imaginable reference tools. Today, with the massive development of the Internet, this observation is more relevant than ever. In terms of CATs, this idea has led to the development of a new type of tool, the so-called TM or translation memory, which makes it possible to capitalize on translations already done in order to produce new ones. But more widely, we have seen the development of text banks collecting very large quantities of text accompanied by the translations. These are known as parallel corpora. To take advantage of this corpora, it has been necessary to develop methods for matching equivalent parts. This operation is called bilingual alignment or multilingual alignment when more than two languages are involved. And how does the alignment work? In a very simple way. When one compares a text and its translation, one notices a lot of superficial clues, allowing to identify correspondences. On the one hand, the length of the corresponding parts, sentences or paragraphs is relatively similar. On the other hand, there are strings of characters, proper names, cognate words and numbers or dates that are similar. Based on these clues alone, a computer program is able to align sentences or groups of sentences with fairly high accuracy. When a pair of text is difficult, for example, in the case of a different alphabet, a general bilingual lexicon can be used to improve the results. Nowadays, there are many different programs for aligning sentences. Some have commercial license, such as Traductores Studio or Align Factory. Others are free, such as LF Aligner or the Microsoft Bilingual Sentence Aligner. It is also possible to align online, using the Web Align Toolkit interface, which gives access to several aligners developed in an academic setting. Parallel corpora sources are numerous. There are institutional sources such as the governments of Canada, Switzerland or the European Union, with corpora such as the Hansard, Europa RL or GRC Acquis. A lot of international organizations such as the UN, WHO, UNESCO, OECD, EMEA, IPCC, and certain NGOs such as Amnesty International that regularly produce reports in several languages. Besides, there are collaborative translations of documentation and localization of open source software or languages, for example, OpenOffice, Ubuntu, PHP or KDE. Also, there are collaborative translations extracted from Wikipedia, made available on the Wikimatrix website. There are patent translations corpora such as the Europat or Boost CLIR corpora, and finally there are corpora directly derived from web pages in multilingual versions, notably the Paracroll corpus. Already structured and aligned corpora are available for download, notably on the Opus project website, on the Clarin infrastructure website, or on the European Union website. The DGT thus provides free access to its translation memory, which covers more than 20 European languages. Some corpora can be searched directly online, such as on the Trek, Opus Project or Lexicoscope 2.0 sites. There are also bilingual concordances for the general public, which can be used to query parallel corpora such as Lingui, Reverso, Context, Traduit, and Glopse. These interfaces are easy to use and generally provide word-level alignment on the search expression, in addition to the access to bilingual electronic dictionaries. These interfaces are useful, but they have shortcomings in terms of metadata. It is not always easy to identify the genre of the text, the year of production, or the source language, which is useful information when you want to do a specialized translation, especially to validate the terminology. Although parallel corpora are very rich resources, they pose certain problems. For example, first, they do not convert all textual genres and fields. For example, in some disciplines, it is very difficult to build up bilingual corpora of scientific articles. Second, for some language pairs, they are very difficult to find. Third, finally, they pose problems of reliability. The metadata do not always indicate which is the source language, or when the translation was made, or the origin of the text. In addition, translations are sometimes produced by amateurs that are not free of major errors. To overcome these limitations, comparable corpora are used as a complement. In the field to scientific writing, we can mention the KIAP corpus, which brings together articles in English, French, or Norwegian in comparable proportions in the fields of linguistics, economics, and medicine. These corpora make it possible to compare authentic usage without translation bias in order to contrast collocation, phraseological, or terminological uses. To consult these comparable corpora, online concordances can be used. For example, Sketch Engine, the Context Concordancer of the Clarin Network, or the Lexicoscope 2.0. Generic corpus exploration tools such as AntConc or term structures such as Thermostat Web may also be very useful. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. You can complete this introduction with the materials available in this unit. See you in the next video.